The question is accountability matters, but when does legitimate scrutiny become public pylon? When does it become a public pylon? Professor Jason Arday has passed away. He was found unresponsive in his Battersea, South London home on the 14th of August, and he was only 41. Metropolitan Police say the death was unexpected. It's not been treated as suspicious. Circumstances remain under investigation. Factual foundation is important. Arday denied plagiarism. Liverpool John Moores University had previously cleared him after an investigation. Cambridge subsequently opened a new investigation after receiving additional information, and Cambridge was also examining his appointment and tenure. His passing occurred before those processes concluded. First and foremost, we want to say condolences to his friends and his family, people that are at this moment in time suffering and going through heartache because they've lost a loved one. So first and foremost, from myself, and I'm sure I can speak for Freckles, thoughts and prayers to the family. But the question is where can we actually discuss this situation? As Jason Arday, the controversy broke before the news of his passing happened. So the feeling with the news that when it happened, when it actually broke, was one of sadness, but also one of relief. And I say that, Freckles, because I am happy that we wasn't the two individuals and the two hosts of this show that piled on to this controversy with this gentleman, with this young man. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, man. It's just one of those things, bro, where countless times, you know, we just time and time again,
Yeah.
we don't learn. I say we.
Yeah.
Obviously, not everyone was involved, but I just say we collectively as a community. We seem to have this through line where we like to jump to conclusions. Like we don't protect until the things that someone has been found guilty of no longer requires them to be protected. You know what I'm saying? And sitting back, because we were going to speak on this previously. And
It was actually, it was actually your topic you threw in the group.
Yeah, but my take on it was going to be from the angle of why are we so quick to like tear these guys and girls down? Like, I look at people who are in a higher position based on their you know, whether they're an athlete, whether they're a musician, etc., and they've done worse things or being accused of worse things, and it's always a case of, well, that person's my favorite entertainer, that person's my favorite athlete, so therefore, until it's been confirmed they are guilty of this thing, we have to treat them the same way we was treating them prior to such allegations coming out. Okay, cool. I get it. You got a personal attachment to that person, whether it's for the music or watching them kick a ball or play basketball while you're growing up. Okay. But then there's never that same grace for someone you might bump into the street. There's never that same grace for someone that could be your neighbor. There's never that same grace that's for someone that probably goes to the same supermarket as you to buy stuff. There's never that same grace for someone who you could probably reach out to. You could never same grace for that person whose name and number could be in your phone that you could call up. Right? And I'm sure, and God bless the dead, he's probably got friends that was in his phone that he was talking to exclusively, consecutively, days upon days upon days. And then as soon as this whole controversy broke out, those people ghosted him. I'm sure that happens. Do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when do we as a community take care of our own? Because guess what, people? those lot on the other side of town that already see us as a threat, they don't need much to dogpile on us. They don't need much. So when something like this happens, we have to protect our own until, if found guilty of such things, and depending on the level it is, we have to be like, hey, we were protecting you as part of the community because that's what we do. We have to let you free so you can deal with the consequences of what you opted to do.
Yes.
And it's just sad that we don't seem to learn as a community. We don't seem to learn. We're the quickest ones to dogpile on our own. We dogpile on our own.
Well, we you see, the thing is in general, we like the tea, right? We like the drama, we like the controversy, we like when there's something happening in the world where it's not pointed at us. The problem, and I'll just speak from my standpoint on this, because I just want to obviously still talk about the controversy in a respectful way, not in a like we know what it is. We're going to be totally sensitive to the subject now because of what's happened, right? At the same time, we have to understand that this gentleman was a professor. He came a professor at Cambridge in 2002.
Right?
Appointed in 2023, and he overcome an hello. He overcome a major educational and development challenges before reaching at the top level in British academia, right? So this person got to a level, however you think how he got there, he was at that level. Now, we've spoke on many public figures who has done atrocious things. Last year, we spoke about an individual who made allegations that she was being essayed.
Yeah.
And she got recorded lying about it. Where are those people? We need to continue to talk about that. There's people online that are very quick to jump on an individual when they just need to look at themselves too. And I'm talking about myself, because at the end of the day, this channel, this platform, we need to be accountable for our own actions. We're not perfect. So when we're talking about these individuals, we're not talking from a standpoint of judgment or gossip. We're talking on a standpoint of, listen, we fortunate we weren't in that position, but at the end of the day, when we do get to a position, or if we do get to a position of notoriety, we're going to have to expect certain things to come our way. And how are we going to deal with that? And how are we going to come together as a unit? Forget about outside, myself and yourself, me and yourself and I, come together and hold each other up. And behind the scenes, maybe say, bruv, maybe that wasn't the best thing to do, or maybe that wasn't the best thing to say, but keep it all close knit. This gentleman, regardless of what has been alleged, because nothing's been proven yet, I believe a lot of people contributed, and as you've actually said, contributed to this whole thing happening and escalating to where it got. I was watching Aberrant Preach talk about the subject, and they were clowning him. Like, they were being very disrespectful and clowning him. Yes, they did give some factual evidence about what was reported, and if you come from a reporting standpoint, that's fine. But when you start mocking and you start adding fuel to the fire, that's when you have to take responsibility yourself for that, which goes back to why I'm happy we didn't speak about it last week. Now, do you think, Drizzy, do you think part of the reason why this has exploded so much was that Jason's story became bigger than Jason himself? Do you think that's the case?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. I think it did. I mean, let me just read out the allegations for people who are watching overseas, might not know the story, might not understand what's going on. So, Jason Arday, his academic, the allegations are not proven, by the way. When I'm reading this out, still not proven. Academic work allegations that portions of his PhD thesis were plagiarized. Career credits, questions concerning aspects of his CV, qualifications, affiliations, and Cambridge appointment. Personal story, scrutiny of some of the extraordinary achievements and experiences attributed to him, including athletic fundraising claims and elements of childhood stories. Right. So again, I will repeat: this is alleged, not proven. But the complicated thing is being treated badly doesn't automatically make allegations false, but allegations existing doesn't give everybody the license to destroy someone either, right? And clearly, we're at this point now where he's passed away. Cambridge have a lot to answer for.
Absolutely.
Because what checks did they do beforehand before they appointed him? Do you see what I'm saying? Once the controversy exploded, what responsibility did Cambridge have towards a person they put in an enormous pedestal? Like what's going on? You see what I'm saying? Like, so last question before we move, bro, because I don't want to dwell on this for too long. It's a very sensitive subject, and I feel like the more we talk about it, is the more that someone online is going to have something to say about it. What can we learn from this, Freckles?
We can learn that you have to go through the right channels in order to get to the outcome you want to get to.
Yeah.
If someone is hired at somewhere professionally to do a job, and for some reason they've been fired for quote unquote allegations, you should not make these things, these quote unquote allegations, public until you've reviewed all the evidence that's been provided and you've gone through the necessary process in order to come to a conclusive decision, right?
Yep.
And you know full well what you're doing when you make something that should be internal and private public.
Yeah.
Because when you make it public now, you're opening up to the doors of public perception, and then everyone and their mum thinks they're holier than thou.
Yeah.
Sitting at the comfort of their own home, giving their opinion. We don't know mentally what this guy was going through during that time. From being the youngest black guy to be hired in such a well-established, globally known
predominant,
right?
100%.
To now being, one of the universities where kids strive to go to. Some think they're a failure because they weren't selected by that particular university, and that's not the case. It's not rejection, it's redirection. Okay, so if you don't get into Cambridge, there's other places you can go that might allow you to flourish, and then it's Cambridge's loss, right? But you lot should have handled this better. And I believe, and I don't always like to play that particular card, so I won't play it, but I'm gonna just give my 2 cents because we keep it, we keep it
100. Yeah, facts.
I just feel like if it was some Donnie or Donette who was accused of or allegations was raised of them doing some underage type stuff, I just feel like they would have been told to leave through the back door and sever all ties that connect you to this institution, and let's just act like we've never met each other and keep it moving. And by the time people find out about it, it becomes a story. Years and years and years and years and years and years have gone by. And then Cambridge gets distanced. Well, we dealt with the matter internally and keep it moving. So we just have to be careful, because it's not only, and there's social media platforms. There's well-known.
That's what I want to talk about. But this is the thing, bro. That's why I don't follow them, man. There, I don't follow those heads. Like, I do not follow any shade boroughs, anything that's just about gossip and tearing down. They're making bread of tearing down their own people. The people that run it are the same hue as us, and
Yeah.
they're just benefiting from tearing us down. That's why I just don't. This is why your online thing. People. When you hear what I'm saying to you, please take heed. When you're online, choose what you take in.
Mhm.
Pause. Choose what you watch. Choose. Of course, myself, you and I, we do content, so we have to look into things and research and find out things.
Yeah,
So
but
we might have to
it's
go
all
on a
about it's all about a balanced diet, bro.
yeah,
Because
but you
them
see,
accounts you're talking about there, the
yeah,
SBs of the world,
yeah,
yo, there's days that will go by before they post anything remotely uplifting to make you go,
yeah,
oh
yeah, yeah,
wow, I
yeah,
actually feel good
yeah,
about myself today.
yeah,
And not that you need a
yeah.
post to remind you to feel good about yourself, but sometimes it's good to see something that could just give you a little uplift, like a certain song that reminds you a certain time in your
But there's
life or
other
whatever.
platforms for that, though, Frex.
There,
There's
no,
other
you're right.
platforms for that.
You're right. But those particular accounts that seem to have a certain part of the community in a chokehold, they just seem to be like, bro, it's like a coal machine. You have to keep feeding it coal in order for the fire to stay alive, right?
Yeah,
That's what they're like. And now they were scrambling and scraping to try and cover their tracks because they were predominantly promoting all this, the allegations, and oh yeah, this person and a bunch of students have confirmed that they believe he marked them incorrectly because they don't think that he has the right requirements and the right educational status to mark them. They was all
yeah.
doing that. Not once were they going, hey, you know what, let's pause for the course for a moment. We're only hearing from one side. There's
But that's
your
but
truth, there's my truth, and then there's the actual truth,
but
right?
Freckles, but their motivation is money, bro. That's
Yeah.
when your
Well,
motivation is money, then everything else goes out the window. So
there you go.
we're talking about a platform that only are based on making noise and making money at the expense of us. And
Mhm.
that's why I don't entertain none of it.
Yeah.
I don't want none of it in my cipher. When I go on my phone, I don't want nothing coming up from them, of them, by them.
Yeah.
I don't want to even see SB. I don't want to see nothing with
Unless it's
S and
Nike.
B with it, bro. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it, brother.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ali locked in. Blessings to you,
Big
bruv. You
up.
know the vibes. The last thing I want to say is there's one guy that came out and said obviously he knew him and he went online and kind of was like, brother, this guy's lying and whatnot. Jason's lying and whatnot. And now he's come back online and he's obviously feeling some type of way.
Save it,
Again,
save it, save
these
it,
are,
save it.
but this is the thing. These are the
Keep,
lessons.
hey, keep the same effing energy you had when that person was alive. Because that
Yeah,
person's not here now to hear your apology, and that person's not here now to hear your side of
yeah,
the story and to defend themselves. Keep
yeah.
that same energy. You lot all of a sudden finding your little pictures that you lot took with Jason back in the day, popping up
Yeah, yeah.
now. Most of you lot was quiet as
It's
a
all,
mouse.
bruv, it's all nasty. It's
It's
all
nasty, bro.
nasty. It's all nasty.
Don't put a deceased person's picture on your profile for likes when you wasn't defending them when they needed you the most. Where
Yeah,
was you? Don't
yeah,
come outside now, yeah? You was quiet as a
yeah.
church mouse,
It's
pissing on
nasty.
cotton. That's how quiet you was.
But that's why, but this is Freckles. That's why I see things like people, like the lessons that we learn. Like, remember what happened to Flack, Caroline Flack? Same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
The dog pile, and she
yeah.
ended up taking her own life. We're like, we don't learn, bro, and we won't
We
learn as
don't
human beings.
learn.
But myself, you and I have to set an example going forward. Like, I feel like we wouldn't even have added to the pylon, but it was like a godsend that we didn't talk about it last week. Something told us not to talk about it. Something told me, especially because I know when you send me the list of stuff, and I kind of looked into it, and I was like, "Raw, is this kind of aligning with our show?" And I was like,
Yeah, but you know what
maybe.
though? I also wanted to, because I felt like he just came out of nowhere, right? So I
Right.
was thinking the angle is to be like, how do we know these allegations are 100% certified? Secondly, why are we not protecting this guy? And thirdly, it's like, let's actually educate people on who this guy actually is. Because
Right.
if you just listen to the recent news, you wouldn't even realize the accomplishments this guy has. Like, this
Yeah.
guy was, if I'm not mistaken, what did they say? He was diagnosed with autism
Yeah.
when he was born.
Yeah.
And it's like, he's managed to become a professor
Top
in
dog. Top
Do you see what I'm
Donny.
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what you need to be pushing out there to combat the dogpiling from the other side.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
you know it is, bro. So yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. That's it, man. Yeah.
All this, you lot recording videos, dogpiling on him, and now he's passed on transition. Now you don't want to come out with your apology videos. Turn them things sideways and stick a shirt up your ass, man. We're not here for this. And don't be putting no pictures up with you and him together when he was under pressure. You wasn't there, standing 10 toes by him, going, the guy that I knew wouldn't be capable of doing certain things. The guy that I knew doesn't roll like that. None of you lot were a mouthpiece to fight his corner. Now all of a
Everybody's on a
sudden, you
clowning
want to put
thing for
pictures up
real.
to
Yeah,
get
no.
your little
Facts.
1-2 little clicks. Move
Yeah,
on,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Dead people, bro.
Listen, we got half an hour, and I was going to say first and foremost, once again, on behalf of the Drizzy Morgan Show, thoughts and prayers to Jason Arday's
Each and every
family.
time.
Like
They had a little gathering today to Trafalgar Square.
I think I was watching some of it live.
Yeah. Big them up,
some
man.
of it.
Big up everyone
Yeah,
that contributed to that.